Thank you. Hi, I'm Ben from Common, and I'm here to present a little project that we completed with our friends in Locus Landscape Architects that we feel demonstrates the durability of a good idea and the capacity of public architecture, even at very small scales, to bring people together and to sustain communities. The Roundtable project was originally conceived during the dark days of Melbourne's lockdowns, when we found ourselves longing for the simple pleasures of sharing food, conversation, drinks, laughs, ideas and arguments around a common table. The table is not a desk, which is a solitary space for concentrated work. The table is a device for bringing people together. However, during lockdown, tables became desks, and we felt the absence of something that we didn't realise it was possible to lose. The table is both public and private. The rituals of eating played out on a plane at the dining table are similar to the rituals of domestic life. The table is the original common space, one that you can share with strangers or your best friends and loved ones. The table is where deals are made, bargains are struck, fortunes are won and lost. Society operates both above and below the table, with legitimate and illegitimate defined metaphorically as being above or below the board. The enfranchisement of our communities and the ability to participate in social discourse and decision-making is marked by a seat at the table. In response to these observations, in 2021, we proposed a 35-metre diameter mega table for the centre of the NGV's Equiset Grollo Garden. Unfortunately, it was not to be. Taylor Knights and James Carey won that year and delivered this rather delightful pink pool. But as many of you will know, nothing recycles quite as well as a good idea. And so in late 2021, we saw the City of Melbourne's call for grant submissions for the City Activation Grant Program, and we saw an opportunity to recycle our idea and address what we saw as a pressing need in our neighbourhood, where during lockdown, our friends and neighbours took over every patch of green space to sit together, or at least together as you can, 1.5 metres apart. After dramatically reducing the scale of the table and submitting an application, we were fortunate to win a small grant, and after a lot of negotiation as to where to actually put it, we got to work. We called on all of our staff, our friends and family to help plant out 168 pots with over 400 native and introduced edible plants and 1.5 tonnes of potting mix. Species were selected for their appearance, fragrance and taste, curated to evoke a fusion of stories and cultural experiences, and arranged to encourage the garden to be picked at around the lower edges of the table. Drawing attention to the life cycle of each species from germination, pollination, fruiting, and shedding of seed as they decline for when the cycle begins again. By doing this, we build connections with our food resources, who grows our food, where it's available, and its heirloom values. And then our builder CBD Constructions got underway on site. And then it blew up on social media. There was real concern about the loss of green space, and you know just how ugly it is.
That's great.
While there was no public exhibition for the design before it got underway because of the temporary nature, we'd spent a lot of time in our community talking about the project, and we're fortunate that supporters in our community stepped in to advocate for what we were doing, taking the heat out of the brewing storm. And when we finally took down the temporary fencing a few days later, the community gathered around the table, chatting, picking plants, tasting them, using it as a running track, trying to match all of the plants in the garden with the names and silhouettes etched upon the tops of the seats around it. Over the last few months, with the support of the Northwest Melbourne Precinct Association, we've run a series of events, including this dinner, which we staged with local artist Fluff Corp. I'm not sure if they're incorporated, but it's pretty good. Focused on the role of small public infrastructure in fostering community and facilitating density. But it's the day-to-day impact of this thing that surprises us the most. It's next to the school that our kids go to, and I walk past every day. Even in winter, people are still gathering around the table, picking herbs for dinner, chatting, doing homework. But this is a temporary installation, and we are well over our original time frame of 3 months, and it's approaching the end of its design life. We don't want this installation to be a disposable architecture. Where possible, we've used materials and systems that are redeployable, adaptable, or at least recyclable, allowing it to have a meaningful and ongoing impact within the wider community. The seats are concrete, glass reinforced concrete pots and have been earmarked for another community group and will be reused in the City of Melbourne's Urban Forest Grant Program. The plants will be gifted to members of the community who want them. We'll have an event down there in a couple of weeks. The solid timber framing and bulk landscape elements are readily salvageable for use in other projects. The sheet metal table surface is uncoated and readily recyclable with limited byproducts and other environmental impacts. While the plywood elements can be potentially upcycled for use in furniture design, such as the unwaste bookcase that we completed in 2012. And then it will be gone. But its temporariness is what made it possible. If originally proposed as a permanent structure, I don't think it would have survived its trial by social media. Impermanence and low cost lower the risk for the community and for council to try something new. In this case, demonstrating the potential for this type of small-scale interventions to bring people together in public spaces in our city. Thank you.